What is going on, everybody? Welcome back into our mock draft coverage. This is a familiar face because OKC has about 100 draft picks over the last year and this year. So coming on for the third time, which sounds incredibly insane. Brandon Rahbar, thank you for joining me all the way from Oklahoma City. How are we doing today?
I'm good. Yeah, we're going to end up being like really good friends by the time, like we're going to be doing this in like 2026. I'm going to be on there like 4 times. Yeah, we're just going to become best friends here. It's fun.
Okay, so last year we talked about 6, 16, 18. This year, unfortunately, I'm only doing lottery. I've only got you for 2 and 12. But today we're going to talk about 2. We had 1 yesterday. So that means when we get to mock draft time, Jabari Smith Jr. is off the board for you. You cannot choose him. But first, let's talk about OKC this season and what holes you think they need to fix. I'm going to set the scene for people who may not have watched all of the Thunder games. This team went 24 and 58. Obviously not like an ideal season, but this team is young and they have great pieces. So when I ask you in terms of like what this team needs to be able to fill, they were last in points, last in field goal percentage, but 6th in rebounding, which is huge. And then the pieces, you got SGA, you got Lou Dort, Derek Favors, Ty. You got like so many pieces that could score, that can go together. I think the other thing this year was there was so many players up and down with the G League. I don't even know how you kept track of everyone.
Yeah, so being a Thunder reporter this last year, yeah, you got to know a lot of names because especially towards the end when they were shuffling in all these different players. But look, a lot of Thunder fans would argue it was kind of the ideal season because here we are with the number 2 pick, which is exactly what they wanted. Obviously, SGA is an all-star level talent. Josh Giddey had a phenomenal rookie year. Like you said, Lou Dort. Trey Mann was really good. So I think that adding a number 2 pick.
My dogs just really like Lou Dort. They were like, "Oh, Lou, yep."
No, that's understandable. That's understandable. Your dog's got good taste, obviously. Basketball players. Lou Dort's actually got the dog in him, so it makes sense.
There we go.
Yeah. Yep. Connection. No, but so adding a number 2 pick, a premium pick to those young players. Obviously. Right now the Thunder aren't winning a lot of games, but the idea is you pack these good players that are young on top of each other, and soon 2-3 years down the line they'll be a contending team again.
Yeah, and I mean this is coming from the Grizzlies side, of course, and you've seen how a number 2 pick can change a franchise. So yes, not like the best season in the world, but the number 2 pick could be a huge thing. And I think this pick, this draft this year is top heavy. There's 3 guys that I think they go 1, 2, 3, they go 2, 3, 1. It's just like flip-flopped either way. So when you look at these 3 guys, they're all bigs, they all have different skill sets. If this was happening with OKC, we're gonna let you pick. If any of them were chosen in the real draft, when it comes down to it at the end of the month, do all of them fit a hole in OKC's roster?
Yeah, absolutely. The Thunder's 3 best players, like they're for sure cornerstone players right now. SGA, he's point guard. Josh Giddey, he's a point guard. They're both kind of combo guards. And then Lou Dort, he's a shooting guard / small forward. So the one young player that they need position-wise, you're looking at power forward or center, and all 3 of these guys are kind of tweener, power forward / small ball centers. So any of these 3, it's perfect. I told everybody, as long as the Thunder get a top 3 pick, I mean, that's the dream. No matter which of the 3 they get, whether it's Chet Holmgren, Jabari Smith Jr., or Paolo Banchero, they're going to fit perfectly. They all had different strengths and weaknesses. But yeah, it was the ideal outcome for the Thunder, for sure.
It sounds like it, especially when the position really does just fit so well. Like who this year got the most minutes in like the 4 or 5 spot for the Thunder?
Yeah, so they shuffled them out. I mean, It was Jeremiah Robinson Earl, who they picked at number 34 last year. He was a rookie. He got a lot of minutes. He ended up starting. Darius Baisley was starting. Then he went to the bench. Poku was playing the 3, 4, and 5. Derek Favors was starting. Then he was on the bench. Mike Muscala. Like I said, just, Isaiah Roby closed out the season. So it just kind of depends on, when the season was. But that's the thing, because they don't have, a guy to slot in right now. Any of these 3 are going to slot in perfectly and take those minutes.
Yeah, and just be like that cornerstone big-ish guy to go along with like the very talented guards that OKC has right now. And I'm saying very talented because that's two Canadians and I'm very biased. So
that's true. No, you're right though. You're right. I mean, honestly, when the three of them played, the two Canadians and Josh Giddey, the Australian, the Thunder were pretty competitive. I mean, obviously they were playing a lot of young guys around them, a lot of kind of like G League type players around them. But it's real obvious the talent that those three have. They just need another guy and a couple more years of playing together. And like you said, you saw it with the Grizzlies. The Grizzlies have a bunch of really good role players. They had some top end talent with like JJJ and those guys, Desmond Bain, but then you put a jaw with them and then go to another level. I mean, and so that's the hope. If you're a Thunder fan, is that one of these three guys can fit in with those guys and take the Thunder to another level here in a couple of years.
Exactly. All right, let's get to the big. So as I mentioned, Jabari is off the board. He just got chosen yesterday. So you are on the clock now for our mock draft representing the OKC Thunder. You're gonna go
I'm gonna go. This is tough. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, it's all you.
Oh.
You're the star.
Okay. This is tough, but I'm gonna have to go with Chet Holmgren. He can just be that, we hear unicorn a lot, but truly he's 7'1" with a 7'6" wingspan. He can play the 4, he can play the 5, he can shoot almost 40% from 3 last year, 9.9 rebounds, like 4 blocks a game. He can be like ideally he could be like a defensive player of the year type player. Like his defensive impact is off the charts. I know he's skinny. That's like the worry. His frame, he's like 195 pounds at 7'1". But if he had like 20 more pounds, he would be the consensus, unanimous, absolute number one, because he has guard skills in that 7'1" frame. If he can fill out at all, I mean, I really think that Chet could be a special player and quite possibly the best player in this draft.
Wow. Big words. I'm going to ask you one follow-up question just to bet Chet, because obviously you know him well. You say we hear unicorn a lot. We hear that with Jaren in Memphis. We hear that with obviously Porzingis. If you were to pick one NBA player right now that his game, it doesn't have to be his frame. I know he's super tall and super skinny, but his game reminds you of, like, who would you say?
That is tough because he's so unique. I'm not trying to get out of this question.
Unicorn. No.
But that's the thing. I mean, probably Porzingis. If Porzingis, Porzingis when he plays is a really good player. He's like an all-star level player when he's healthy and on the court. Frame and play style, I would say he's probably the closest, but Chet has even more guard skills. Like he can handle better and quite possibly shoot better. So I think actually like a healthy Porzingis with even more skills is what I would call Chet. That's
impressive. If he can make the transition, that'll be great.
Yeah, if you add a player of that caliber to this Thunder team, and I'll talk to you again here in a few days because the Thunder have pick number 12 as well. So I mean, the Thunder really have a chance in this draft to add to the young talent they already have and really kind of make a leap with this draft. It's pretty important for OKC.
All right, there we go. Chet is on the board for number 2. Brayden, thank you so much, and we'll see you again in 10 days for pick number 12.
Yeah, I'll see you then. Thanks, KJ.